All right. Well, we'll be able to have some time if that's the case. Um, Today we are going to talk about actually something that I didn't I knew was extremely common, but I didn't know statistically how common it was. And that is the good old all or nothing syndrome. I can tell who the all or nothing people are upon registration. Well, and now I can tell um, who they are, right, like literally when I'm doing the onboarding session before it's even you guys have even signed up. Oftentimes I will say, "You're all or nothing, aren't you?" And it's that type A personality, perfectionism. But I did some research on this topic because I also did a podcast on it today, and I found out that over 60% of people that are serial dieters, repeat dieters, um, like you guys, like me, most people have been on repeat diets in their life, are all or nothing in some way with their eating style. And as I thought about it, I'm like, that seemed a little high because I work with hundreds. And my end of the spectrum, I don't know that it's 60%, but when I started really reading the descriptions of this, I'd be surprised if it wasn't higher. And of course, I'm working with a population of just dieters, so I'd be interested to see if I polled the group, how many of you guys would be considered all or nothing. And after I present this, I'm actually going to make some new little rules for the group because I think it'll be worth our while to avoid saying certain things and doing certain things because it literally sets us up for failure when we approach things in a certain manner, in the way we say things and the way we do things. And I know in watching who I have with me tonight, I know that there's some of you are parents, some of you are social workers, some of you are teachers, and all those roles are, we are who we display we are. And so when we are being negative about ourselves, that is going to portray what our outcome is going to be, big time. So, so I'm going to share my screen and go through the presentation. And then if we have questions at the end, we can share. All right, so, oopsie, I always do that. I don't want to share it that way. I want to share it this way. Okay. All or nothing syndrome, roadblock to perfectionism in dieting. This is literally something that is holding a lot of people back from succeeding. People think it's I can't get meal prepping, I can't get the avoidance of food, I can't get the uh, uh, meal tracking thing down. A lot of it boils down to it's all or nothing. I can't tell you how many times people give up on logging because they can't get it perfect. So they just stop. I heard this just today 3 times. I don't know what to log when I go to a restaurant. So then you just don't log. So stop and think about that. If you don't know what to log at a restaurant, is it better to make a really close guess or to not log anything? Therefore, get to eat even more stuff that isn't allowed. See how it works? So it's kind of like an outlet too. I'm so frustrated. I can't get this meal prep thing down. Therefore, you don't meal prep. Therefore, you order out. It's also an escape. So is it perfectionism or is it a scapegoat? Is it a way out? It's hard to tell. Or it could be both. It could be a little bit of both. So let's define perfection. Um, Perfectionism someone who negative self-talk, and I know that sounds like an oxymoron, someone that's a perfectionist talks bad about themselves, but it is very common that someone who has perfectionism will oftentimes say, that was stupid. I was stupid. What was I thinking? You know, that's negative self-talk. Anytime they get anything wrong, even minusculely, it's horrific. Where someone that is not a perfectionist would look at that and go, I slipped. I'm human. So there's the difference. There's not taking satisfaction in anything that they do. Anxiety over failure. So instead of learning from their mistake, they will spiral from it. One little slip will turn into a huge fiasco. They also judge others and themselves. They very often don't complete projects. They're always starting something, but not finishing. And that's typically because it's not perfect or it's too difficult. Therefore, they, it's kind of like teetering in between there. I can't be perfect. Therefore, I don't and won't try my hardest. Therefore, I'm done. I'm out. And they constantly self-doubting themselves, and to the point of quitting. And all of these things are pointing to someone that is unable to complete a task. And because we're talking about dieting, these all point to not being successful with a diet. So let's talk about perfect Patty. Oh, our perfect patty. So many perfect patties in the diet world. They focus on the past. It's that Chicken Little syndrome. They're waiting for that shoe to drop. Well, last time this happened, last time in about 6 weeks, I lost weight, and in about 6 weeks it stopped. So that's a preconceived notion. You are setting yourself up for failure, and it will always, almost always happen that way. I cannot tell you how many times since the very beginning of my career, before I was even a nutritionist, when I was still a trainer, I would have people tell me, and I'm talking going back 30 years, I have never been able to break 138 in my entire life. No matter what I did, I was never be able to break 138. I've heard that from people at numerous numbers across the board. I haven't been able to break 176. I haven't been able to break 156. Everyone has their number. There's a mental roadblock there. Your behaviors change at that number, thus causing you not to break it. That is focusing on the past, Chicken Little syndrome. Uh, Extreme fears of failure, and self-worth, and then of course all or nothing, and that is the perfect Patty. So, perfectionism quiz. I have a little quiz for you guys. Okay, so you just have to quietly in your heads answer these. And now I know that you guys are going through this life-changing program, and I know, and I know some of you that are here right now, I know you very well, have changed. And I know that some of you, and you're chuckling right now because I know you know who I'm talking about, started this journey with me and would say, you used to be this way and now you've changed. So if you want to answer two parts, like before Get You Fit and currently, you're allowed to do that. So do you typically begin a new program on a Monday? Are you that person that would just, I'll start Monday? And if you're thinking, yeah, that used to be me for dieting, what about other aspects of your life? Are you the person that cleans the house on Monday if it's a huge mess, or if your car is a disaster, do you say, well, I'll do it Monday? Okay, that's question one. Are you convinced that past failed attempts were lack of effort or lack of staying focused? So which one is it? You didn't try hard enough, or you couldn't focus? Which one? And that is the blame game. People that are perfectionists always blame a different factor. It's never their fault. It's always, well, this happened. Everything was going smooth. I was going to do great on my diet, but then my mom fell and she was in the hospital and she broke her hip. And so now I'm derailed. Is there always, because now that you have succeeded, some of you that have succeeded, um, nothing's getting in your way. I mean, no hip breaking, no COVID, no nothing is getting in your way. You are equipped to handle every situation. So that is another question. Do you typically want to speed up the process? And are you willing to eat less than what the program recommends or exercise more to reach your goal? So if you're somebody that is like, I'll cut the corners, I don't care, I'll get there faster, no matter what the costs are. Is that you, or was that you? Do you expect to suffer when you start a new program and feel deprived? And that might have changed once you actually started and got your feet wet. But did you typically expect when you started a program to actually feel deprived? Like, here we go, going into this. And do you enjoy the thrill of food elimination? And I know that sounds really crazy, but there are people that really enjoy that food being eliminated from their diet, even if it's temporary. So that was my little quiz, and we'll kind of get back to that. But this is the big one. Do you use, and I caught myself today, I did this during my radio show and I paused and my producer had to cut, and he just knows what to do when I pause. Do you use words like good or bad to describe food groups and eating behavior? And I caught myself after I wrote this, I thought, I literally on the radio said, when you ate bad. And I'm like, because it does portray there's no such thing as eating bad. And so when we say that, it initiates and it connotates really negative behavior. Eating a cookie isn't ideal, but it shouldn't be called bad, because that is going to offset a fiasco. And do you battle urges to skip workouts and eat foods off the plan? And does that happen on the same day? So this one here is the big one. If you skip a workout or if you eat something off the plan, does that cause you to say, all right, I'm going to now eat more off the plan and not work out the rest of the week? Does that one occurrence create an avalanche? You fall off the wagon when you make one bad choice, sometimes even after making a small, poor food choice. So these are all major signs. So again, I'm going to get back to those, but the big picture here is progress, not perfection. No one is going to get better until you face your fears and you face fear of being judged. No one's going to judge you if, yeah, no one's going to judge you for not being perfect, especially when it comes to dieting, because no one can get this spot on perfect. And the fear of failing, of course, is very substantial, but the bottom line is no one is looking at you. If anybody, this is where you got to stop and think. If anybody's ever been on a diet before, no one has ever clinched it perfectly. And really, you don't have to answer to anybody besides yourself, because again, there's nobody that has ever gone on this and not fallen off a cliff. So anyways, so the big picture, this is not a quick fix. Practice is what makes you perfect. and I say this all the time. I am a nutritionist and a weight loss expert by trade. I've gone to school for many years and I have lots of years of experience, but really what has made me the expert that I am is the practice that I've had um, through my own personal failures. And there's no better practice than that. And I wear that all on my sleeve. And not that I want to have slips and slides, but every single time I do, I, I put it into perspective and think, this is why I overindulged tonight. It's because I didn't have my 3 o'clock snack. This is why I didn't work out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I was being ridiculous that I didn't work out on Wednesday and I assumed the week was cashed. You have to you have to put those things into perspective. It boils down to irrational thinking. And sometimes you have to write these things down and point them out to yourself. Because really the number 3 here, um, I found that I was just surrendering to my own weakness. When I would not work out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because I thought I was off track by not working out, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Really, I was just being lazy and giving myself the rest of the week off. I mean, let's be real. I would lay there in bed and go, I mean, why wait till Monday? I mean, I'm literally only setting myself back even further. That is irrational. And I was surrendering to my own weakness. And my weakness was laying there for another 4 days. It did nobody any good. And that's when you have to think like, I slipped a little and now therefore I'm going to be off track for the next 4 days. That is surrendering to your weakness. And you'll never get ahead. I have this analogy that I tell people, if you are, and of course, I know we have somebody here from Canada, so pretend you're in Chicago, okay? If you're in Chicago and you're driving all the way to Florida, right? And your vehicle breaks down in Tennessee, are you going to pack it up and drive back to Chicago and wait there? No, you are going to get your vehicle fixed and then you're going to continue on to Florida. I mean, you got the kids in the car, you got you're going to Wally World. But what we do is we derail and we turn around, we go all the way back and we start over. And we do it time and time and time again. And until you step back and go, what am I doing? It literally makes no sense until someone puts it into that perspective of you're driving to Florida with your kids and the family dog and the whole bit, your car breaks down. You're not going to turn around and go back home. You're going to do everything you can to fix it, manage it, and head to your trip. That is not surrendering to your weakness. If you really didn't want to go to Florida, you would turn around and go back home. That's different. It's no different. My other analogy is when you bump into a brick wall. You accidentally hit a brick wall. Do you then keep hitting your head all day with a brick wall? I mean, we've all stumbled. No, you don't pick out the brick off the wall and carry it around with you because you had a cookie and hit yourself on the head all day with the brick. There has to be a gray area. And this is what I want you to be aware of, because once you learn to live in this gray area, it's really going to be the place that you will learn a lot and be able to escape from that all or nothing. And I've had conversations with people. I had one this morning, in fact, and I talked about her on the radio show where she was dumbfounded when I told her that you could drop the all or nothing and have a clean slate in the same day. Like she just thought, well, no, you got to start fresh the next day. And I said, no, who said that? You could start that day. And she was like, really? And so I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so all, nothing, in the gray. So the clean slate rule is you flip, you get up, clean slate, no matter when it is. Now, typically when people do this clean slate, and we've all done it, we typically will say January, especially if it's in November. I mean, for sure, it's January. And again, that is people surrendering to their weakness, because why start in November? I mean, you got 8 weeks of good eating you can get in. That is surrendering to your weakness. So the next knee-jerk reaction is people will say, I'll start next week. Again, you're putting it off. You're surrendering to the weaknesses of the weekend and pizza and Chinese food and going out to eat and cupcakes and everything else. That is where you have to stop. Start now. Put the brick down. Put the brick down and start now. Because otherwise you're hitting your head with this brick that you have in your back pocket, and it makes no sense. So expect slips to happen, and don't rush the progress. Never put off the new start. And this is what I told the lady this morning. And so I'm going to share this story with you, and I'm sure she won't mind. I won't say her name, but she joined my program before COVID. And she lost 15 pounds. COVID happened, got derailed, gained it back. So now this time she joined, and she's here too now. We had our meeting, and our mid session meeting, and we were kind of going over some things that she's learned. And she said one thing she learned was the clean slate. And she said, it's interesting because the first time around, she said she would slip and she would not start fresh till Monday. And she realized that how much damage was done from her slip until Monday. And if the slip happened on Thursday, then it was like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of just off eating. And if the slip happened on Saturday, it would be, just that. And so she says now she is so proud of herself that if she does have a slip, she doesn't wait till Monday. She clean slates it the next day. And I, of course, was so proud of her. And I'm like, that is awesome. I'm so proud of you. Great job. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, well, why wait till the next day? and that's really like a high level clean slate, because it took me years to do that. I mean, I have to say, probably didn't start doing that clean slate, like advanced level, mastery level clean slate, till probably the last few years, where I would, go off track and eat, a cookie or a cupcake, or and I was able to rebound from that and get back onto my routine for the day, because we just have that well, the day is ruined. And it wasn't until I started logging it and seeing that it really did no damage to me, seeing the next day that it did no damage to me, and I was able to just move on. And she was almost dumbfounded when I told her this. She just was almost like set back and thought, I just never thought of doing that. Because we don't think of doing that. It's just like this unspoken rule that if you eat off track, that you are expected to eat off track the rest of the day. And it's not that way. So don't ever put off the new start, because that is debt you have to pay off. And I call it that because when you go off track and you eat cookies and candy and garbage and pizza and this and that, and I mean, I've even had people tell me they went off track and they went through their freezer and found, old pizza that was frozen and ate it, and they were going to just, get it out of their system. That's debt that still has to be paid off. Your body is not going to just forget that you did that. So don't put off the start. Oh, I lost what, there were a couple more things in there, but this is something that I wanted to point out, and this is what helped me a lot with the clean slate. This is a fitness pack. Okay, this is a hypothetical fitness pack. These are all meals that are on your plan. Okay, this is a perfect day. And I don't know, can you guys see this? It's probably really small. Oops, it's probably really small. So for breakfast, we have the blueberry oats. For snack, we had the yum yum yogurt. Lunch, it was a salad. Dinner, chicken teriyaki comes in perfectly at 1,300 calories. Okay, day's great. Now, this is situation A. Let me show you situation B. This is situation B. Same breakfast, same lunch, same snacks, but we had an Oreo cookie situation here after school when the kids came home, and we ate two measly Oreos, 140 calories. So this person wrote it down. We saw 140 calories, big deal. Now, had she been able to clean slate it, get back on track, eat her normal dinner from the night before, and let's go back and look at that. Her normal dinner from the night before was 540 calories. She would have still came in at maybe 20 calories over her goal with the cookies. She would have been fine, okay? But instead, the two cookies set her off into, let's go out for pizza. And it was nothing crazy. I mean, it was just, let's go to Lou Malinati's and two medium slices of deep dish, which again is nothing crazy, you know. Um, and afterwards family stopped and had gelato. And so now her total just for dinner was more than she consumed the day prior with the cookies. Do you see the difference? Okay, so now it gets better. She wakes up the next day and it is like, oh God, what did I do? I'm so mad. She's really not that full because she didn't eat that much. I mean, two slices of pizza is not that much. So she does the mastermind move of skipping breakfast and doesn't eat a snack or lunch because she figures she doesn't deserve it. Oh, I'm sorry. She had some almonds, just plain almonds. And then she had her lunch. And then look what she did for dinner. I was being funny. But my point is that is what happens. We don't eat because we're mad at ourselves because how dare us that we did something so terrible that we ate pizza and then we get home and it's some olives, some tomatoes, a little avocado, some chicken, some walnuts, some grapes, little of this, little of that, little of this, blah, blah, blah. And now we've created a problem. So you can see that her all or nothing attitude really was the biggest setback in weight loss. And like I said earlier, over 60% of dieters experience this initially. So set yourself up for success and don't be perfect. It will take you down. You literally have to have an escape plan. And I talked a little bit about this on the radio show that it'll be out next week, but have an escape plan. You know, when you have a slip, know uh, what your plan's going to be. If you eat off track, know, are you going to have dinner? You know, have it scripted out. And if you're somebody that suffers from this syndrome, then when we meet for our mid-session review, let's come up with a plan. Because there's all different types of avenues for this. If your plan is you slipped in the middle of the day, do you still eat dinner? Do you eat a big, smaller dinner? Do you skip a dinner? I mean, you should know what what you should do. Because sometimes skipping dinner is not the best thing to do. Because then guess what? 8 o'clock at night, you're hungry. So have a plan. Write it down. Have your choices there ready to go. Because technically, depending on the slip, if it's just 150 calories of cookies, you can get back on your day. If it's you not working out Monday and Tuesday, therefore you think you're going to take off the rest of the week, that's illogical. That's where you have to sit down and draw it out and draw out how many calories are you not burning, and see it concretely. Anytime you see something concretely, it brings it to the surface more. So when it's ambiguous, it's invisible. And then the biggest piece of advice is step back and go, am I surrendering to my weakness? Meaning, do I really want that cake? Or do I just want to start Monday? Which one is it? Because if it's the fact that you are just being surrendering to your weakness, then that's a different topic that you should address. So, questions?
I have a weird one, and it's not me being perfect or anything like that. But on the weekends, when I go for my long run,
Mhm.
I notice that I just get up and I go. And then I realize I probably skipped my breakfast.
Yeah.
And I'm having my snack, but I'm not making up for that. And it's just by habits one day on the weekend. Is that something I need to be worried about? Because
Are you running? Are you eating anything while you're running?
occasionally I'll have like a gel or whatever with me. Occasionally I'll have like, I don't know, like a Cliff Bar. I'm really bad about that stuff. Like tomorrow I'm taking a vacation day. We're running Lake Geneva.
Okay.
So I'll wing it. I know it's bad, but on the weekends, I guess my question is, do I really need to get up earlier and try to consume a full meal before I
No.
run?
Oh, no. I would not change anything that you're doing, but what I would do, I mean, you've lost, you've been successful. I wouldn't rock the boat, but
And I started in November, by the way. I just want to point that out. I started.
Yeah. No, I know.
So your analogy made me
Yeah,
laugh.
for the other people, right? I was actually thinking about you this week. I'm like, gosh, I haven't talked to you yet this week. It's been I haven't heard from you this week.
No,
This
just been busy.
Yeah. Well, it's only Tuesday, but the I wouldn't rock the boat there. But as far as following if you're hungry later, you want to replenish.
Yeah, no, if I'm hungry, I'll eat,
Mhm.
but I'm not making up for whatever I missed during those few hours is probably what
No,
I'm saying.
I wouldn't worry about it if you're fine up until this point. But if you are feeling weak, or if you're running, 30 miles or doing like an excessive amount of mileage, and
Well,
that would
I'll
be,
eat during that
yeah, that's
distance.
what I
Yeah.
figured. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Some of you that have also been with me that have lost a lot of weight. Any comments or statements to make? Did you, I'm putting you guys on the spot now. Well, maybe not just you guys, but all of you. Have you noticed a change in the way your thinking is as far as the all or nothing versus kind of getting better with not feeling that perfectionism as much?
Yes, it's Amy. I'm not letting you look at me because I look horrible.
Oh, stop.
No, I really do. Yeah, so I have been with Irene on and off for, I don't know. I was just talking to Christine about this for like 12 years, maybe a long time.
So we should share the story. So she started with me before I was, I think I was still in school for my nutritional cert. But I was still a trainer and I wasn't doing any of this yet. And she was one of my clients. And you lost how much then?
Then like 50-ish, 50, 55. And it was pretty quick, but I was,
Yep.
a lot younger. And, but I was very much at that time, all or nothing. I had a goal weight that I had to be at this weight by, I was going to Italy and I had to be at this weight for this trip. And then I got there and I went to Italy and it was like, now what? I got there and I was on vacation and I was very much all or nothing. And I will say, so I started like on and off, but this time I think Irene would notice I am much more calmer this time.
Yep.
I I don't have the all or nothing attitude and it's so much healthier and I'm so much happier and there's not an end date where I have to be where I'm at.
Yep.
The end date is this is my life. There is no end date. So I think that just comes with maturity.
Mhm.
I think it comes just with several times failure and it's not a failure and I just have to remind myself that over and over again and that vocabulary of what you said earlier, good and bad.
Don't you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that people that, I can only speak for myself, but, it's a hard balance with food because
Yep.
you need food to survive.
Mhm.
It's not like we all, I mean, at least for me, I turn to food if I'm happy, I turn to food when I'm sad, but with something else, let's say like alcohol, you can easily just say like, I'm never going to have another drink again.
Yep.
But with food, you can't, like you eat it to survive. So just having that healthy mindset and that, there's a lot of people that I work with that are doing this program and they would all testify that I do say over and over again, like the thing that I'm most proud of is my mindset this time.
Mhm. Yep.
So just keep with it, everyone. Just keep with it.
Yep. Yep. And it is true. And because, and I know you won't care that I'm sharing this, we lost touch because this was before there was FaceTime and all that. And
Yeah.
you did gain back all the weight.
Oh yeah, several times. I mean, this is like my 4th time working with Irene.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's every single time. But yeah. And I stopped talking to her. I thought I could do it on my own.
Yep.
It was very much all or nothing. Well, you know what? I've gained it back. I'm not going to call her. Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And then she ran into someone that she worked with that was working with me. But the point is that she dropped 50 pounds again,
Yep.
remarkably. And the differences that I've seen from this time to last time are crazy.
I would say it's changing. I'm not as afraid anymore. I really not. But that is working with you and myself and all of the mindset.
Mhm.
And when you say you have that pyramid, I don't know what it is, but diet, it's 40% diet, 40%
50%, 50% mindset.
And it is. It really is. So
Yep.
thank you.
Julie?
I have something to say. One of my favorite quotes, and I just shared this with Amy in our work group the other day, and it says, giving up on your goal because of one setback is like slashing your other 3 tires because you got a flat.
Yep.
I love that quote. So I like to apply that.
Absolutely.
With your program.
And Julie's one of my rock stars too, as many of you are. She lost, what's your total? I can't keep up.
Since you 25.
Yep, but total.
Total 74, something like that.
Yep.
It's fluctuating.
And your whole mindset's changed a lot too, because I had to tame her from the beginning, because you were very like all about just the timing and the numbers and
very rigid.
Very rigid. And that's not just Julie. I think it's just common at the beginning. I hear it a lot with, well, I want to lose 12 pounds by June 12th, and I need to hit my goal by, and I don't remember you being that specific, but you were very concerned about your your progress. You know what I mean?
For me, I've always been obsessive about when I would set goals in the past, when I'd lost weight on other
Yeah.
programs on my own, it was, okay, I lost 2 pounds this week. Let's see if I can do 3 next week, 4 the next week, or I'm going to the gym 3 days a week. And then it becomes 4 and then 5 and 6
Yeah.
and 7. And so when I started losing weight pre Get You Fit, my goal, and I was just talking to Amy about this weekend, was only lose a pound a week.
Mhm.
I had to, like, my challenge to myself was rein it in and keep it slow.
Mhm.
And so then by the time I got to Irene, because I was stuck at a plateau, I had that mindset, so I was okay with it going slow, but you do still get frustrated and you still like, okay, I've got to, I was rigid because I
Yeah.
needed to make
Yeah.
it happen.
Well, and it was at first. It didn't move
Mhm.
quickly. But now it's moving too fast now.
Yeah, now we're reining
Now we're
it in.
adding calories. She's like, so yeah, so that's good. And then Brenda, I'll have you share your story because you also have been pretty successful, or very successful.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
when I came to you, I didn't have a goal. I just wanted to fit in my clothes. I apologize. You're going to hear my dogs in the background. It's puppy playtime. So I might have to walk in the other room. I've lost, I think, about 30 pounds
Mhm.
since November. But truly for me, I've just been eating more. I've always been kind of a workout addict, and Irina has kind of tamed me some with that. And I've just been really eating better. That's truly what it is. And I think for me, success was always kind of planning ahead and making sure I had my snacks packed. Because I was one of those people, if people are like, oh, we're gonna go here for lunch at work, or we're gonna do this, yeah, I'll go and I'll figure it out and I'll eat with them. But now that I have my snacks or my meals packed, I could still go with them, but I already have my food ready to go. And I didn't feel like I had to cheat to do that.
Right, which is really important. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but you also had a lot of you also had a lot of little things that you feared that we had to change.
Oh yeah, I was diehard vegan.
Mhm.
I was not eating, I think when I started with you, I was probably only eating maybe 30, 40 grams of protein total a day. I was completely anemic. I have Hashimoto's, so I hear a lot of people saying that they have hypothyroidism. That's why they put on weight. Well, yeah, but if you eat right, you can control it. So I have all the marks that say I should be really big, and I'm really not a big person
Yeah.
by nature. But I think my approach was probably different. I did not have a goal weight. I did not know how much I weighed. It probably drove you crazy because for the first month and a half, I wouldn't weigh myself.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get there, but now I think that that's the most successful tool to keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Is now weighing myself every day.
And it is hard when you aren't when you're not used to weighing yourself, and someone asks you to weigh yourself every day. But you were ready to do it, and once you did, but even then when you started doing it, that was, that's kind of a point of perfectionism in a way, because you're not used to seeing it go up and down, and so
Yep.
but nonetheless, but yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
No problem. Thanks.
Any other questions? Comments from the tier 1 people, tier 2 people? Oh, I almost reported you instead of removing you. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, if you have no more questions, so nobody can be perfect.
Nope.
Nobody can be. Yeah. It is hard. I mean, it really is, but it's I encourage you to practice it. You know, next time you do have a little bit of a slip, it's hard, really hard. But it's empowering once you do get yourself back on. Just it takes a lot of willpower actually, to not keep being off track once you've been off track. But give it a try.
Yep.
All right, you guys, have a good rest of
Thanks.
the night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.